Hello viewers, you're welcome to Economy Today on TVRC. I am your host for today, Olanu Oluwatobiloba is my name. And here with me on set, we have Dr. Akintunde Somi Vincent, our lead analyst for today. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here with us once again. Today we're going to be talking about Nigerian youth empowerment, or youth empowerment in Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's promises and the path forward. And to get started with this particular session, I would like to ask you this question. What exactly do you think is the outcome of this recently inaugurated National Youth Conference? And how do you think the government is going to ensure that, some of the promises, some of the ideas and recommendations generated are properly implemented?
Well, things that were, the outcomes of the recent National Youth Conference, put together is innovation. It talks about innovation, because it is very pertinent that a country that is going to experience growth must be very innovative.
Yes,
and when it comes to the youth of that country. And again, another one is security. That a country that will thrive must make sure that all borders are secured. If not, investors will not want to come into such a country. Another one is social justice. We all remember what happened during the EndSARS protest.
Yes.
Where the youth felt aggrieved as regards the police brutality. So these were put at the forefront, and there were we talked about how the government intends to, ameliorate or to really look into the, really address the conference. And one of them is put together is the National Youth Confab. Hopefully, let's see, even the then President Jonathan Confab eventually was thrown. We don't know if it's going to be if the implementation will come tomorrow. That beautiful confab. So, should we be optimistic about it? Of course, we have to be optimistic about it. So, the confab is one of the youth confab is one of the ways to see how the possibilities of addressing the aforementioned outcomes of the conference. And again, don't forget that that confab definitely will. I put here what I call productive dialogue. It is quite different from me to bring people from all walks of life into Abuja for any conference, or to put them in a particular location for any conference or for any kind of a confab or conference. The point is, what they are going to discuss about. The productivity must be well measured, must be well taken cognizance of. So you don't just put people together. Eventually, they will hit. They will, they will mingle. Yes, and eventually they will network. They will network, but eventually, the productivity must be achieved. We must achieve the fact, that the purpose of putting them together must eventually be tailored towards uniting this nation, irrespective of ethnic location, tribal affiliation, or religious denomination, whichever way. We must make sure that we're able to actualize that part, because at the point in time in this country where everybody believes that Nigeria is currently sitting on a keg of gunpowder, where so many believe that disintegration of this nation is very paramount, that people must go their different ways, and this has led to the emergence of non-state actors over time. The one that over time, you will agree with me that in the southeast, the likes of Nnamdi Kanu, here in the southwest, has led to the the likes of Sunday Igboho, Showore, and what have you. And even up north there, it has led to some the emergence of blockades or emergent pockets of terrorists who have championed, most of them have taken over most of the local government over there. That has led the birth of Lakurawa, the Boko Haram, the Hiswap, all manner of names there. Pocketing a pocket of location where they are, they've taken over time. So, like I said, if we are going to achieve anything, it must make sure either the innovation that is very much at the forefront, the security, the social justice must be tailored towards uniting the nation.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much for that insightful session. I would like to ask, how do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the federal government as a whole plan to keep their promises to the Nigerian youths, particularly in terms of ensuring that opportunities are readily available to the Nigerian youths? Because we don't want a situation whereby this National Youth Conference is just inaugurated for show. And it should not just be like a deceit that it is just there just to satisfy our, should I say, if it is our curiosity for a while before the youths are eventually discarded. How does the president and the federal government intend to ensure that ideas generated are properly implemented?
Yeah, the government must be proactive. They have to do something visible, not something theoretical. Well, like I said, even the proposition of the conference or even the confab itself, at that particular level, is still very much theoretical in nature. But implementation has to come with a whole lot of action, not just something you say in the theory. If you are going to eventually turn around the situation of this country or the story of this country, it has, for example, look at the number of unemployment, look at the number of our unemployed youth that are very much ravaging, loitering around, not even knowing, most don't even know what they want to do. Even the entrepreneurial skills, even the capitals are not readily available for them. So are you willing to reduce the number of unemployed graduates we have in our country? Okay, confab is beautiful. Ideas are beautiful, but we already have a spelled out problems already that are currently ravaging the youth. One among many of them is the issue of unemployment. And don't forget that the idle hand of the work is the devil's workshop.
Yes, indeed.
So, like I said, if you are going to one of the ways the government people keep saying that government, they have no business in business. I said I beg to differ from that particular notion, that government do have business in business. Okay, for example, when you create a kind of enabling environment for the youth to thrive, of course we are going to have a prosperous nation.
Yes.
When we have take a look at what Burkina Faso is doing currently. That young man is currently investing big time in agriculture, and that we should follow suit also, because this is what God has blessed us with. When you travel to so many countries out there, God has blessed them with some other things, they are known for a particular thing, but here in Nigeria, enough for putting our egg in one basket. So, like, the issue of unemployment must be thoroughly dealt with at all levels, at all strata. Take a look. Wasn't it recently we heard about government employing some number of medical
health practitioners,
and everybody appears to be dancing, and I was like, why are you dancing when we are currently experiencing brain drain? Must we celebrate when we talk about 20,000 or 20,000 people applications? Government eventually employed less than 1,000 from 20,000, and you want us to be dancing around the streets? And he said, okay, maybe a good number of those who were not not given the employment will be used as a subsidiary. I was like, to what extent? Look at they own the same. Most of them, they own the same. Virtually, I'm very sure those who were not eventually picked, some of them also, they have the same pedigree as like those who were picked. Of course, picking some substantial number of it is still very much commendable. But what I'm saying is, equity and fairness. How do you think those who were not picked, how are they going to feel? So, like I said, we have to look at possible ways to see how we can engage our youth. Roundabout, holistically. Not just engaging few. No, we have to see how we can. I was not on this program. I said, look at our youth land mass. Why can't we invest in fertilizers? Look for machines that youth can make do with, that can help them to enhance their farmland. They can have a kind of security, a very beautiful security. Encourage them. Have big housing projects. Check most of our 6 geopolitical zones in this country. Look at how you can create a kind of enabling environment. Build housing where the youth can always stay, a secured environment, where they are going to also have, where they can always think on how to, enhance their farmland, bring out something good from the farmland, and you also encourage them on what to produce on the farmland. If it is, do you know how much a bag of cocoa is sold? If it's going to be a long-term project, a short-term project, a medium project, we have annual crop, we have biennial crop, we have perennial crops. The annual crops that can fetch them little money, that will fetch them the money in the immediate, where they will need to start begging for Gen 2K. While the biennial and the perennial can always fetch them, can always help them to live the dream they actually aspiring to, what they are aspiring to, the dreams they are aspiring to live. For example, bags of cocoa, they are able to maybe export them outside the country, and they are paid in dollars, and all of them can become, you can start building billionaires and millionaires in this country.
Yes.
But when the government is just thinking about issues that are very much irrelevant, one senator is kissing, the husband is kissing them, one land is kissing, is having problem with Babati, all manner of nonsense on our social media platform, the all manner of distractions on our social media platform. So it's just quite unfortunate. Like I said, if the government are going to do anything, they have to do something visibly that is visible to the blind. I mean, something that is very concrete. They have to come with full force. Say, come on, you just made mention of it, you are going to implement, and not just partial implementation. Like address some fundamental issues of unemployment, the issue of hunger in the land, because the empty tummy will do nothing. The hungry man is an angry man.
Yes, indeed.
So these are things we have to look out. We have to address so that we can, have a sane society.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Akintunde. Just to finalize this particular session and to round up, I would like to ask, because you mentioned the issue of unemployment, and I want to believe that unemployment is something that is a streak that we need to address urgently as it stands, especially in the space for the Nigerian youth. So how do you think the government will balance this youth empowerment of it with the issue of unemployment, education issues and political participation that some young persons in Nigeria are facing? Because a lot of people complain that there's no job. Some of them complain that education isn't fair. Education is becoming so hard to be able to get to attain, especially in certain levels. And other persons are saying that political participation in the area of the youth is a little bit limited. So how do you think the government is going to balance all of this to be able to ensure that there is inclusiveness?
Well, what I think that the government should do in the first place is to create, one precedes the other. Okay, when you talk about inclusivity and you want to talk about political participation, it is when you've gotten to a level in your life that you can start talking about, because even to run any campaign, you need money. Mouth does not win you and does not win any election. Go and ask Donald Trump in America. We tell you, we narrate his own ordeal. He has been at the forefront of billions and billions of dollars at a very young, at a very long, so many years ago. So to run, when you talk about political participation, employment is very paramount. It's highly quintessential. It is when you have something doing. It's when you have a job that you're doing currently, you're able to feed yourself. That's why you can talk about how you want to help. You want to help others to feed themselves. Because the purpose of political inclusivity is for government. When you talk about political participation, it comes in different dimensions, so many levels. But at the center of it all is governance. It's governance. Okay, either you want to vote or be voted for. Either you want to canvass or be canvassed for. It has to do with a whole lot of people's life, people's well-being. So when you are not well, your well-being is still very much questionable. And then you want to start talking about other people's well-being. So like I said, we need to make sure that we build the youth network, a system that that will stand the test of time. When you look at Japan, I once said that look at even the social media influx. The TikTok that is being used in China is different from TikTok that we use in Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigerian TikTok is talking about nyash and everything every time. But when you check the Chinese TikTok, it's always talking about innovation. You have to start addressing that particular one too. The all manner of distraction on social media network. We need to question, we need to, quickly we can always talk about somebody not buy somebody Lamborghini Cora. How does that, how does that address the issue of unemployment in our country? How does that address the issue of poor economic policy in our country? So if we are not conscious about it, then it becomes a whole lot of distraction for us, and the country remains. So, like I said, balancing political participation, youth unemployment, one precedes the other. Of course, if the youth fail to participate in the politics, let's be ready for one idiot to come and take over the what's it called, the aims of affair, and we should not really go well for the country. But like I said, it's good because even if when the youth fail to participate, it leads to a political apathy, whereby you leave one particular generation, leave the future of the country in the hands of the older generation, and they will make law that suits themselves. The law that they will make, that they will be making, will not be the one that really suits the current generation. So, like I said, balancing the two is very good, but one precedes the other. Let's talk about how we can engage our youth first. Let's talk about the issue of employment, the issue of unemployment first, because when you put it on percentage, it is very high. More or less, like 70% of our youth, they are doing practically nothing, and the 10% that are doing something, the frustration has already set in. Only few percent, maybe only few percent are thriving up there. But just check, most of those who are riding Okadas, most of them are graduates. Go and check, you will see. Go and check those who are riding Keke Maru, Keke Napep. They are graduates, more or less, like they are still striving. So what is the essence of attending university, studying for 4 or 5 years, and eventually what you intend doing? And even some of them are even doing they are ignorantly doing what they shouldn't be doing. And then are you going to explain that somebody who studied that's agricultural and agroeconomic extension, whichever, agricultural and economic extension, most of them are working in the bank. So also have studied banking and finance. Some of them are driving Okada. They're riding Okada. When you see somebody who studied, who is supposed to be in the hospital, is teaching biology, is teaching you see, all manner of. So we need a system that works, that will tailor the affairs of our youth, that will mend the affairs of our youth. In short, the counseling, most of the communities, most of the secretariat ought to have counselors that will counsel the youth. Some they don't even know what the next step to take. When you see some of them who even loiter around, they eventually mess up their lives with even hard drugs, hard substances here and there, because there's nobody to mend or to counsel or to give proper advice on how to develop themselves or how to grow. And this if a nation is going to grow, we must take cognizance of all the aforementioned.
Wow, thank you so much, Doctor. You've said a lot already. There you have it, viewers, on Economy Today on TVRC. Yes, Doctor has really been able to expatiate on the issue of youth development in Nigeria, what the federal government intends to do, and a whole lot of solutions towards ensuring that the youths are properly engaged to be able to ensure that there's prosperity in the nation. All right, there you have it, viewers. Once again, I remain your humble host, Olani Oluwatobiloba, on Economy Today. Thank you so much, Doctor, for honoring the invitation to be here with us this morning. Till next time, bye for now.